That stirred the fire in you as part of your history or what you saw in the community before you ventured out to embrace it. And who do we need to talk to that helped you stroke that fire, that made you go, I gotta go to this event because so-and-so is gonna be there and they gonna do this. Or, you know, that kind of thing. What was it about it that made you excited that you were in this community and fall in love?
I wanted to share too something. Believe it or not, Miss Terry, on my job, we had senior partners. We hired them and put them on a billboard.
Yes, you did.
Had them ride around and set
the
the
gallery, yes,
bar.
you
So
did.
I could probably get those actors because we use them to kind of for health reasons to say, hey, the seniors are doing this and that. So I'm almost sure on our senior partners when we had it like 10, 15 years ago, I can get that
Great.
that ad.
Thank
for
you,
that.
Fonda.
I also want to emphasize something about history. Part of our purpose, our job here is, and I'll use the term fact check, because if you go back to history, her history of a certain situation might be a little different than mine, the way I tell it, which might be different. So when we have this group of people with all the experience and the people that Aileen may have met versus the people that Gloria and the next person, we'll be able to fact check each other. Not to say, hey, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. But when we tell the history, we want to be as perfect as possible on telling that history.
Authentic, as a authentic.
Authentication.
Yeah, authentic. It's almost down to now what is called classic soul line dance, where people are trying to remember the old line dancing. The old line dances that when I started and the seniors was out there, Miss Terry, Miss Mary, Miss Bell, and they were jamming, and you were like, I want to be like them when they grow up. When I grow up, I want to be like them because look at them. Miss Terry kicking her leg up. It was nothing for you to see that anywhere else but on the floor at a line dance event. And you're like, wow, that's what they doing? Well, I want to hang with them. And that's what we did. But in life, everything grows. Everything evolves. And you got the old folk. Now I'm considering myself old folk because I'm 61. And I'm seeing the new ones come in at 35 and 40 going, oh, I ain't know about that one. Oh, where can I go to learn that one? Well, what's that one called? And what's that one called? And you're like, that was me. When I came in, that was me. 20 some years ago. It's truly coming full circle. We have to figure out a way to keep the old with the new and ingrain them or interconnect them more with what we used to do and what we're doing now. The music has definitely changed. Some of the music I can't deal with. I'd be the first to admit it. But if I like to dance, then I'll learn to tolerate the music. But it has definitely grown with the different events, the different promoters, the different instructors. If you can't find somewhere to line dance in Philly, Jersey, and Delaware, you're not looking. you're just not looking because Yeah, there used to be a time where 7 days a week you can go somewhere. It may be 5 times a week now. But if you can't find a class, then there's something wrong because you're not searching or you're not in contact with the people that can connect you to who you need to go to learn this art. Because it is an art. It is a form of dance that is indigenous to, I want to say, black folk, but it's not truly black folk either because you got the white folks, you got Koreans, Asians, you got there's line dancing in Israel, there's line dancing in Russia, there's line dancing in Africa. Um, there is line dancing everywhere being performed that we don't know about. So I would say to people, get on the internet and look. You be surprised what you may find out.
Start by asking you your journey, the beginning of your journey. How did you become, and you're a well-known, well-respected, idolized DJ. How did you, tell me about your journey into line dancing itself. How did it make its appearance in your life?
Into line dancing, I would say line dancing, as I know it, started as a part of an event. So you had a regular oldies event, and then you had people that would come in and they would start line dancing. So I'm gonna take it back to the Tina Richardsons, the Ray Boys, the Rick Goodmans, the Party Boys, Sakeem, over at the First Fridays at Dagenhart's with DJ Butch Thomas. That was back in 1988. That was just an oldies dance party. And line dancing was done to enhance the party.
Oh.
So people would bop, cha-cha, two-step, slow drag. But then when the line dance came on, then everybody got on the floor because it gave people a chance to dance that weren't coupled up. So that's when I got introduced to it back in 1988.
Wow.
So that's a long time ago. That's like 35 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And to this day, it's just gotten bigger and better.
Mm-hmm. And you entered it through the lens of dancing? That's how you entered it?
Through dancing. So I've been DJing since I was like 15.
Oh.
So at the age of 15, I did my first party. My dad had a bar, and one of his friends wanted me to DJ a wedding reception. And I never did it before in my life. So I said, you want me to do what? So I went out and brought some music. He gave me some of his music. And I DJ'd at 20th and more on top of a beer distributor called Cyclones. On the second floor, they had a wedding reception. And then when we got done, we took all the equipment back to my dad's bar. We set everything up. And I started playing music. And the guy was like, how do you like this? I said, well, pretty cool, pretty cool. He said, you want this? I said, how much you want? He said, give me $250. $250? He had two old BSR turntables, a Marantz amplifier, two homemade speakers, and a mixer. So I looked at my dad, and my dad gave him the money. And that's how I got started DJing.
Wow.
And Silky Smooth and Dave Bush, that's what they used to do. Cha-cha steps, da-da-da, 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 cha-cha. So if you ever seen somebody do the cha-cha jump, that's the Philadelphia original. Nobody else did cha-cha jump prior to that. So Dave said, well, okay, so we're gonna do this. And Silky Smooth, them boys was bad. There's about 5 guys. They were bad. So we had a group called the Carpetbaggers. So he wanted to be part of the Carpetbaggers. So Dave came into the Carpetbagger realm, and we shared different things, different steps. But he took these same steps, fast foot cha-cha steps that we used to do, and put them in a format. So they were doing it in other places, other towns, but it was very like they had a guy here, Jerry Blavitt. You know, and Jerry Blavitt, they had a thing called the Wagner Walk. You know, and the Wagner Walk was a line dance. But to me, your first line dancers were singing groups back in the day.
Oh.
To me, that was your first line dancers, the singing groups. Because you got 3 or 4 guys doing the same thing, like a school of fish, you know. So he just took it to another level as soul line dancing. You already had Western, you know, but now he said, oh, we're going to do soul line dancing. And the thing about soul line dancing, you dance off of gospel, jazz, blues, rhythm and blues, hip hop, you name it, that's what soul line dancing is about. So Dave threatened my life because he had the Dave Bush dancers, and they went to the Apollo, and they won a few times at the Apollo. And so we were at a place called Club Escape, and he actually came in my face and threatened my life. That if I didn't join his group, you know, that would be the end of my existence. So I said, okay. I said, okay, Dave, I'm gonna give it a try. But I'm not into this type of thing. I'm gonna give it a try.
What was fascinating back then was that seniors were very good dancers. I think seniors use soul line dancing for that social piece, for memory, a lot for memory, because that's one of the things that you start getting challenged with as you get older. I can't remember that name. I can't remember that person. And I found about memory, short-term, long-term memory type thing. And what happens, the music kind of triggers your memory of the steps to do. We had a lady, she was my, the bank teller, Miss Turner. And recently I was seeing her come out to the Venetian Club and seeing her looking a little challenged. And so the lady that brought her out, Bud's sister, I forgot her name. She always wear purple. She said, oh, she's experiencing, you know, like some memory loss and different things. I don't know if it's a diagnosis like dementia, whatever it was. And Miss Turner, she might have forgot her keys, forgot something. They had to get her in there. But certain dances, she's on the floor and she's got all the steps. So I'm saying to myself, as a senior now, I want to continue to teach so I can keep my memory going. I want to share this with people. And it is fascinating to talk to some of the seniors that I'm working with and find out somebody is 90 years old. Because that means they was a senior. When we say senior, we used to think of 70 and 80 years old. You know, 60 and 70. I'll just say 60 and 70, like 20 years ago. Now, those people are 60 and 70, if they still around, they are 80 and 90. Everybody don't live, you know, but so long. So once you hear seniors, the type of music that they were attracted to, that they still like, a lot of times they may not want to do the hip hop and swing on the chandeliers and all that stuff. So they usually like good music. When you say classic or something, a lot of times it's something the seniors like, you know. So that's what I see when I see seniors, and they have their social thing to come together. If you look at Chiquita, a whole group of them come in with the yellow shirts on. They're from her class, you know. And so seniors, this is a good activity for them.
The things that people tell me about you is that they want to dance like you. When they see you on that dance floor, they say, I want to grow up and dance like Miss Terry. So Miss Terry, tell me about how you felt when you went out and you were dancing.
Oh, well, all I felt was the dance, you know, the dance. And people, even up at, oh, what was the name of the church we went to?
Oxford.
Oh,
Oxford.
Oxford. Yes, Oxford. Even up there, the ki- kids, kids, the students used to say, come on, Miss Terry, show us how to do this dance, you know, that dance. And it was fun. Line dancing was really, really fun for me. And they always said to me, why don't you charge? I said, because I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time, so I didn't want to charge anything. And we went all over Philly dancing. And a group came up from down south. They were having a reunion. And they asked me to bring my group and dance. And we went there, and all the people were saying, oh, I want to do that. I want to do that. Then I ended up there teaching a dance that they could do. It was such fun. Line dancing was such fun. And it really hurt when I got so I couldn't hear, you know, and had to give it up. But line dancing for me was one of the greatest things that ever happened to me.
Line dance became a sense of therapy for me. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
In 2011, I was, you know, laughing so hard to the point I got a headache. And at that time, the headache wouldn't go away. So after going to doctors and getting x-rays and MRIs, I learned that I had a brain tumor. A brain tumor on the left back of my head. When I learned of it, first person I called was Dawood. Dawood has just been my bestie throughout my line dance journey. So, you know, after a lot of calming words and everything, you know, he goes, just come to class. Come to class. I called him from a train stop, told him what happened, and he said, calm down, Breeze, just come to class. Went to line dance class and we danced it out. At that time, it was February 28th. I had a brain tumor removed. It was about as big as my fist. So imagine something as big as your fist in the back of your head. It came out whole. It wasn't cancerous. Thank God. However, it did affect my mobility. So during that time, also caught an infection. One of the infections was E. coli. So it was a type of infection that I was not supposed to live through. However, being 30 days in rehab, I had to learn how to walk. So during rehab, my therapist had me. I had a foam helmet on to protect my head, and I'm holding on to like a ballet bar in the hallway. And she goes, "We're going to do a step for your mobility. Hold on, and you're going to cross one leg over the other." So I'm doing it, and I'm smiling big. I'm smiling big. Like I said, I had to learn how to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, "Why are you smiling?" I said, "Because I'm dancing.
Mm.
I'm doing a grapevine."
Right.
Yes. I said, "I'm doing the grapevine." And I told her right there about my line dancing. So her assignment for me for my next therapy session was to come up with a dance that has that grapevine movement to it. Now, at this time, I'm no instructor. I have not made up any dances, so I'm nervous. I called Dawood. Just quickly said, "Dawood, I don't care what you're doing in the next morning, but please come up here and bring your radio. I need a line dance with a grapevine in it." So, and he did. He came up to the therapy, and we did Stroll Along Cha-Cha to Mary Mary's Walking. Because the original song, Try Some Kind of Love, is more of a faster beat. So we, Mary Mary's Walking had the same type of beat, but slower tempo. So not only did he have me dancing in between two parallel bars so I can hold on, but he taught the whole room, all the therapists and doctors that were in the room, this line dance, and the whole room line dance with me.
Wow.
Yes. So from there on, line dancing became part of my therapy.
Wow.
Yes.
Things changed. People who didn't speak spoke. So I don't know what the problem was in the first place. Doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I sold Avon, and I would knock on doors. Oh, Sylvia. I said, I'm selling Avon. Come on in. And I'm like, you sure? You didn't like me before. They come in and they were nice, and I did that for 10 years. It's just funny how people are, So, but I love Westchester. I hear a lot of people, I don't like Westchester. Oh, it's you. I said, I don't socialize here. I love living here. I love walking uptown, I just do. And you walk around and you see things that are familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's the Star, there's the Elks, there's the community center. Dance. We used to dance there, We used to go to that Star where my mom said that I could go up there to dance. But Kathy, she lived next door, and she was a little older. So when she came to live there, they said, yeah, you can go with Kathy. Oh, love that girl to death, child. Oh, boy, I got up there. I looked at that place. I'm like, oh, my God, I have arrived. I'm up here with the dancers. Westchester guys danced. They really danced. That's why I learned how to bob and cha-cha. They really danced. And, it was just something, I'm telling you. And we had bands. We had live bands. It was Donnie Edwards. And then he screwed up the band, so Carl Holmes took over. And then there was King Tweed, I think. He used to come down. But we mostly had Carl Holmes. It was nice live music, Oh, telling you, that was the bomb going up there. So.
And what years were those?
60s.
60s. Okay.
60s.
Nice.
60s, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when I got into the Dave Bush dancers, I tried my hand at. Shout out to Rudy Liverpool. He was a Dave Bush dancer as well, and he actually pushed me to choreograph. So I made a little piece, showed it to Dave. Back then I didn't understand, but now I do understand why Dave did that. Even though I might have been good enough, quote, he wanted to teach me, I guess, make me appreciate it more. So he tore my little dance apart, but he did let me put some of the moves into a choreographed routine that we had when we were performing. So, but at that point, then I'm like, well, I'm going to make a line dance that you will never be able to tear apart, Dave. But like I said, it wasn't nothing towards me. He was just trying to give me the foundation and make me earn it, not just come in thinking, okay, well, this girl thinks, because then, you can get a big head coming in thinking that you know everything. So he brought me down. But then, so then that was back in, I think, 98 or 99 when I did that. So then my first line dance I choreographed was actually called D&B's Groove. And D stood for my girl, Doris Bell, who was a Dave Bush dancer back then. Her and I started teaching line dances back in Norristown in 2000. But that was Got to Be Real by Cheryl Lynn. But at the time, I was going out to Blue Lights in the Basement on Kelly Drive on Monday nights. And Daryl Taylor was a DJ. And he started playing Vicious. And we all know Vicious is like a cha-cha partner type of dance. Back then, you know, there weren't too many guys, and if there were, if you didn't know how to bop or cha-cha, they weren't going to ask you how to dance. Now it's different. But back then, if you didn't know how to do that, they wouldn't ask you to dance. So I'm like, I'm going to make a line dance so that we don't need anybody to dance with. So that was my second dance was Vicious to Evil, Earth, Wind, and Fire. But everybody thinks it's my first because that's the dance that kind of like catapulted over Got to Be Real. So yes, and that was back in 2000.
Some people would say or ask the question, well, why do so many women line dance? Because they don't have partners in the partner dance world. So there's a shortage of men there too. But then the men that do come to a partner dance world, a lot of them are coming because they're with their significant other. Their partner say, oh, you come to learn this dance with me. And then, you know, there are exceptions to every rule. So there are men out there that will dance. And you'll find that a lot of the male line dancers are male partner dancers too. And so I will tell you that they have events, dance events, where they have what's referred to as a designated dancer. So guys will come so that the ladies are sitting down. Your job is to go get that lady up and go dance with her and work the room. So.
And you've crossed over even in your production.
Old age.
You crossed over into
partner dancer. Old age.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. These knees ain't allowing me to do a whole bunch of jumping. But I will tell you this. I regret that I didn't start partner dancing years ago.
Earlier, yeah.
I love it.
Me too.
I love it. Yeah, but yeah.
I love it too. I just have a hard time following a man. That's my hardest part. Sakeem was my first teacher. I think Sakeem was my first teacher, but it's like no,
The problem with that is
Go ahead.
is not every guy can lead.
Mm.
So, from my experience, there's not a lot of guys in this area that knows how to lead.
Mm-hmm.
So until you get a guy that knows how to lead, if you know what you're doing, you're gonna have trouble. And that's the biggest struggle for me in partner dance. How do I tell you I want you to turn? How do I tell you? So with that being said, Jeanette and I just did a partner dance competition.
Mm-hmm.
And now Jeanette is one of my dancers for my line dance performance team. And she's used to me getting on here. No, Jeanette, do this. Well, we talk about a role reversal. No, Kenny, I can't feel you telling me to spin. No, Kenny, no. I'm like, girl, you yell at me one more time. You talking about role reversal?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I think that's the biggest struggle.
Yeah, how about you guys? We went to Vegas. Okay. Didn't know the Vegas champ was going on. We were there for our birthday. We was we were going to the event, realized it was like the dress up night. And we got there and everybody was fully dressed up.
They were formal.
They were formal. We had like shorts on. So we got to Vegas. We talked to Bernadette.
No, Aileen got us tickets, even though they were sold out to that one night.
Right.
Showed up and they were all in gowns, dresses, and bling and tuxes, and we were in shorts and flip flops.
October 8th, we were there for our birthday. Just kind of coordinated. Aileen was there. Like, hold on, all these people are here.
Yes.
So, we mainly stayed on the East Coast.
Yes.
So we've been to North Carolina, Virginia, Boston. Okay. Yeah.
That's not the furthest you've been.
What's the furthest?
Where he can ready to go again, and I'm going to go too.
To cruise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the furthest.
Yeah, that's the furthest.
That's a correction.
What?
We've been on the line dance cruise also.
Couple of
Oh,
them.
yeah,
Couple
too.
of them. Yes.
Where'd y'all go?
Huh?
Where'd y'all go?
The Caribbean, Cozumel.
As
Oh.
of January, I've been doing this for 20 years.
Wow. Wow.
Believe it or not.
Okay.
I believe it myself sometimes.
20 years in this community. Tell me about what is this community? What is the Soul Line Dance community?
I think it's just a group of people that's going to get together and dance and have fun with no drama.
Mm.
That's it. I mean, there's people that have issues all over, and you never know what they're going through. And this is their out of place. This is, I can come here, I can be myself, I can be silly, I can just, talk with other folk for that hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever that time is. They can just leave their stuff at the door and have fun. And one of the lines I always tell people, especially new people who have never line danced before, I say that in life, there are some things you can mess up on and really get upset about. I say that in this environment, this is the only place you can really come and mess up and still have fun. That gets them every time. And that's kind of like an icebreaker for me when I have new people come in.
So you learned that in your wisdom of 20 years. Tell us about your beginning. How did you get into it?
Well, I'm also a marathoner. I've been running marathons for over 30 years. And let me go back. December 2002, I was out practicing and running for an event. And I run in all kinds of weather. It doesn't even matter what the temperature or whatever. As long as it's over 20 degrees, I'll go out and run. And so that December of 2002, I caught a cold, a real bad cold. But me being hard-headed, I was still running outside until it got down into my chest. And so my doctor said, okay, you're being hard-headed. That's it. No more running outside. And for somebody like me who's been running for at least 5 years prior, you might as well cut my wrist. Don't mean I can't run. So January 2003, I was on the phone with a lady named Vanessa Hamilton. So she is the one that actually told me about line dancing. We had a phone conversation, and she said, well, I'm going to line dance class. And I'm thinking, electric slide light. And she's like, no, it's something completely different than that. And I said, okay. So the following week, I went down to the atrium in Pennsauken, and that's when I first met Kenny Johnson. And the very first dance I learned was Metamorphosis. That very first dance I ever learned. So that dance has a special place for me.
I'm thinking, oh, he don't take no crap. I got to bring my A game when I come to rehearsal with him. But that also helped me to respect him more because
his time.
Yeah, and he had visions. The man, he sees things that we could not see at that time. And each time we would come to rehearsal, he would take us a little further, a little deeper. And by that time, he was also assessing our skills and where he wanted different people to be. And we also, quiet as is kept, and I'm going to say this, I don't know if Jeanette going to admit this or not, but when he would choose people to do designated parts of his routine, and if it was one of those really intricate and important parts, and he chose you, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm part of the inner circle here. Yeah, all right. Well, first routine, halfway through, we all figured we had our little spots. He said, He said, now you're going to audition for your spot. That's right.
Right.
What you talking about audition for all these weeks? We've been rehearsing, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
He said, like I said, audition. You got a problem with that? There's the door.
Right. And he was all about lines and formations.
That's right.
Ooh, whatever he saw in his head,
That's right.
whether it was this way, that way, crossing over in between, he was fanatic about it. So I think that's the drill sergeant coming out in him. I remember one rehearsal, we were actually practicing and he wasn't in the room. And one of our dancers, Linda, not this Linda, another Linda, decided she was hungry during rehearsal time. And she left. and went across the street to McDonald's. McDonald's or Burger King. So Kenny come back here. All right, come on, y'all. Let's get to it. Let's go to it. He goes, where's Linda Carter? Yeah, Linda C. She went to McDonald's and kissed on me. Because back then I was telltale. And he was like, what?
I think unity. I think unity because wherever you go in any one of those areas, most of us know a line dance, and you put on a song, people are gonna come in and they're gonna line dance. So I think it's the unity that bring everybody in. It's the unity to bring everybody in, whether you go to Delaware, Upper Darby, anywhere you go, we're all connected. But not only in that, we're connecting outside of that, in New Jersey, in Baltimore, in Chicago, and and the good thing about that is we all know a line dance from every part of the city. So I could go to Baltimore and know some Baltimore dances. I can go to Chicago and know some Chicago dances because we have people who bring those dances to us, and I think that's very important.
Okay. If in terms of if we reach back to your childhood, right? And we start looking at what your interests were in your childhood. Does this fall in line anywhere with that at all?
You know, believe it or not, it does, but not indirectly. I think when I had to be about 13, I was in a dance class because it was just part of it was at a recreation center called I lived at 38th and Mount Vernon. So it was the recreation center, the Mantua Community Center. So there was a young lady there named Janice. So from the community, we would go and dance from there. But I was always a party animal. So I danced like from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. If there was a party, then I was going. So I take that from, because I love to dance, it was more of a pleasure to dance. I didn't look at it more until I started working at Health Partners, and I just happened to do a line dance there. And that kind of went into my adulthood, and they wanted me to do it. So that is actually how I ended up transitioning into line dancing
And then
itself.
the terminology is different from region to region, state to state, instructor to instructor. Because what I may call one step, another instructor will call it something else. So I had to learn to be bilingual. I had to learn how, if I am in Minnesota and they are calling a magic, I needed to know what a magic in Minnesota is, a sailor step in Philly. So I taught myself to do just that, to learn each different region, how they taught, what they call stuff, and how to break a dance down. Because country and western, they break it down in eights. We just break it down and keep going, and we say, okay, next wall. Now here's your new wall, new dance. Let's go. So it was, and it took a while because it was a foreign language for me. It was foreign language, and I realized as I was doing it that in our region I was the only one doing it that way, making it, I guess, more than what it was then as opposed to what it is now. But I was excited to learn something. It was like, oh God, I need to learn this. It was like you're hungry, you're never getting enough food, so you never quite get full. And even now, I look at a dance, I be like, yeah, I like that. Oh, I got to learn that, and I get the music, and I was like, yeah, my class will like that. So I'm still there, just not as high priority now.
How do you connect math to line dancing? How do you do that?
Well, I don't know that I do it purposely.
Right.
But I think I teach.
It's natural for you.
I teach the way I teach a math class.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you. I mean, I have my binder of steps, so that when my students come tonight, and when they leave me, first of all, you're going to see me. I'm going to have a. This is another Linda Turner thing. Linda Turner bought me. I call them suspenders.
Mm-hmm.
With clips on the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because every time I had the steps in front of me, I call them my cheat sheet, I would put them down and then walk to the other side of the room and I go, where are my steps? So Linda Turner said, here you go. You put this around you and you clip the steps right onto you. So I even put them upside down, so if I need to read them, I can lift them just like this. So they get a copy of those emailed to them when they go home tonight.
So where do you get the steps from? Because a lot of the dances, the choreographers don't make step sheets.
No,
So
I watched. Well, hopefully I'm getting somebody that's instructing, you know, and I just document what they're doing.
Okay.
You know, I'm not very patient about, you know, playing it, stopping it, writing. I'd rather not do that, but I have, because if I like the song enough, see, that's with me. If the song grabs me, I hear that song, I got to learn to dance for this song because I love this song.
Okay.
Well, I connect to math too. It's my favorite subject, and I think that sometimes when I teach, I may connect to the math. Now I won't do the cheat sheet or the write it out, but I'll have a 3x5 card,
Right.
so I make sure I get all of the steps in
Right.
to complete the choreography.
Right.
Okay, so I have my card, but when someone says to me, "Oh, can you write it down?" I say, "No, you write it down." The reason why is because they're gonna think of it a different way than maybe what I used. If I said cha cha cha, they might say shuffle up
Right.
or something like
Yep.
that. And because if we were writing music to notes, which, like I said, math is music,
Right.
then we would have to write it a certain way.
Right.
But we can put together something that tells us what we're doing
Right.
or what the choreographer did,
Right.
probably better than the choreographer themselves.
I started line dancing before he was born.
Whoa.
So I started back when they didn't have people actually teaching you. How I learned, I went to the different dances. I've been all over Philly, Jersey, and what I would do is get out on the floor. And when I would see the people dancing and do the line dance, I'd get up and follow them, and I always went to somebody who was doing it right. And I used to get, they didn't like it sometimes because I'd mess them up because I didn't know all the steps. But I used to, Dave Bush was dancing then, Sakeem, and I would hang out the places that they hung out. And then one day, the director here said, Miss Alberta, could you start teaching some line dances?
Oh.
I said, oh, you want me to do line dances? They said, yeah, can you do them here at Rose Hill Community Center? I said, sure. So we started. We was in the gym at first. I think it was in the gym. And then after I started, then my daughter, his mother, she started teaching after me. So we've been based here the whole time. So and that's why it was Rose Hill at first. And then after she finished, and as he got older, and I used to take him to Kenny's all the time. And that's when he said, oh, I want to teach line dance too. So he started learning his line dancing there. And then when he took over, then that's when we changed it to DLD.
Okay. I started line dancing in 2001. A coworker kept after me to come to her line dance class, and she was under the instruction of Dave Bush and Ed Williams. And she kept after me, and every time I saw her coming across the work floor, I was ducking her because I kept feeling like she was bugging me. Why do she want me to come to this darn class? What the heck is line dancing anyway? And one day I saw her coming and tried to duck and dodge, and she caught me. And she was celebrating her 50th birthday party. So she asked me to come to the party, and at the party, she taught a line dance. And when I got that first line dance up under my belt, I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is the coolest thing. So after that, the following week, I was in class. And the first time I walked in class and got them few dances under my belt from Mr. Mr. Dave Bush and Ed Williams, it was hook, line, and sinker. And it's been like that for the last 22 years.
And how did you meet Ellen?
I met Ella in class one night, and I offered her a ride home when I realized that she lived close to me. After that one ride, we have not been separated in 22 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Ellen, tell me about your start up into meeting Patty.
Well, I went to Stardust Ballroom, and it was my husband who was the line dancer, not me. And he took me there, and I watched all the people line dancing, and I enjoyed it. So I bought 2 VHS tapes from Mr. Dave Bush. Back then, y'all was VHS tapes. And I learned all those dances. And he told me to come to his class on a Thursday because that was his beginners. His advance was on Tuesday. I said to myself, this man don't know who he talking to. I came to the Tuesday class, and I rocked it right along with the rest of them. And then I said, you know what, let me go visit the Thursday class. And that's why I saw Diane there. She was in the Thursday class.
Oh. I was in the Thursday class in the back, in the corner. And one day he said to me, hey, you in that back corner. He said, you coming out of that corner, and I don't want to see you in Thursday's class no more. Come to Tuesday's class.
Right.
And that was it.
Right. So your introduction was through Dave Bush, right?
Yes.
So what years we're talking right now?
2001.
2001.
Yeah, about 2001.
2000.
When I thought it was so great to see that it's like you found your tribe. Not just your tribe, it was like your family. When you and Nicole and Ali thought that was so wonderful. Mo Ground Park. I never seen anything like this. That she's in Detroit, he's in Indianapolis, you're in Philadelphia.
For sure.
What and it was so it's still just a wonderful thing, you know,
absolutely. It's a
to
connection.
see that you found your tribe, your family, and you and Nicole.
Oh yeah, listen.
Oh, please.
Brothers and sisters.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's real life.
Mm-hmm.
That's real life. Like there,
that's real.
She is just as important. I have a blood sister, and she's just as important to me as my blood siblings, and so is Ali. Absolutely. We yeah, it was just a connection. So you know the term like blood is thicker than water, right? So the actual term is the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb, right? So basically, the whole term is really completely opposite of what people think it is, right? It's really the connections you make in your life
can be even stronger than blood relatives. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't it true?
So yeah, so
Yeah, you proved
that's
that.
one of those things.
I
Yeah,
can feel that energy. It's just I've never seen anything like that. They don't went on tour.
right. And a lot of people thought that was like a ploy, like a line dance promotion ploy, and it's like, man, listen, we rarely discuss line dance, but we do talk to each other. You know what I mean? Like we're really a part of each other's lives and stuff like that. Where line dance just happened to bring us together.
And what's the whole last name?
Point.
What's
Ali
Ali's
James.
last name?
Ali James.
Oh yeah. I haven't seen it in a minute.
Yep.
I haven't seen it.
But it's like that's life, right? So like he's living life right now, and he knows that line dance will be there when he gets back. You know what I'm saying? And like for that, like that's what we prayed about. Like we pray together. You know what I'm saying? Like we talk about life together. So when he ready to come back, we ready to have him. You know what I mean? And then with Cole going through like a whole breast cancer thing, like her being that transparent about it, like is mad courageous.
Yeah.
But the discussions that aren't seen, and that's like what family do. Like what you would do for your sister, like that's what I do for Cole. You know what I'm saying? So for sure, yeah.
I just felt I needed to mention
No,
that.
I appreciate that.
It's
Because it's a real thing.
real,
It's definitely
real.
not anything fake about
Yeah,
that.
because she flies in to surprise you
Oh,
on
yeah.
on any given weekend, and he don't know, that she's coming, and then you see him go.
Oh yeah. And the amount of respect that she's garnered in the soul line dance community. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that's an influence outside of the region.
Yeah.
That's definitely like my relationship with the Midwest has grown. From when I first started meeting those people, Curtis Good and all that. Definitely. For sure.
I don't know if everybody knows from this class, I was blessed with my baby, my little baby girl. And so this live dance thing means so much to me, more than y'all could ever know. But again, to all my day ones, y'all know who y'all are. Thank you. My day ones and my newbies, I love y'all. Listen, I could not be the awesome line dance instructor that I am. Yeah, I'm tooting my horn. Toot, 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 toot. There would be no me without y'all. My husband, thank you, Bernard. Thank you so much. Thank you. And during the duration of the class, I've only had three men that has joined the class. My honorary member, the first one was Warren. He's no longer with us. But we got Brother Calvin is my second man. Yeah, you. That's your name. Yeah, you. You my second man in the class. And my third man, my lieutenant that hold me down, has never left my side. JT. And let me tell y'all something about this man right here. I ain't fallen ill, and even in my absence, he taught my class. I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't know it until after the fact. JT, I planned on giving you something, but you know your auntie, like, I tried, but I can't thank you enough. Even when I stopped my class, let me just say this real quick. Even when I stopped the class and I had to stop, I had my hiatus, I told them to go to other classes. I don't want you to lose what you've been taught. He said, nah, I can't do this. I'm gonna wait for you to come back. I'll wait. So I don't know how long it's gonna be before I come back. But don't worry about it, I'm gonna be there with you. He has been tried and true. And I thank you so much, nephew.